Big matchup, Detroit versus Phoenix, the number 1 seed in the East, hosting the Suns. The big question is, how will the Suns perform without a player whose first name starts with D on the roster? Of course, I'm talking about Drew Eubanks as they match up against Isaiah Stewart. Psychos and sickos unite for a Eubanksless edition of the PHNX Suns pregame show. Of course, brought to you by our friends over at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details. Thanks for everybody for joining us here.
Diabolical for that, buddy.
Early on a Thursday afternoon, 4:30. Who would have thunk it? I'm Eric. That's Gil. We got Steven and the freckled mamba behind the Mac, making all of the magic happen. No worries. Espo will be back soon enough, but had to take care of some family business today. And the Phoenix Suns are looking to take care of business on the second game of their road trip on the road against the number 1 team in the Eastern Conference, and they'll be without their star player to do so. Let's waste no time. Let's get into the injury report presented by our friends over at the Husband and Wife Law Team. If you had a serious injury, call the Husband and Wife Law Team first at 602-783-8841 or visit their website at husbandandwifelawteam.com. Let's start with one name. We'll look at everybody else later. Devin Booker is out with a left ankle sprain, originally designated as questionable. Steven, the story of the Suns this season has been next man up. Have they faced a tougher test without Devin Booker than tonight? They did play OKC without him.
I was about to say, they did play the defending champs, and they were also in Oklahoma City for that too. So the answer is yes, but there's only one other team that's been playing at a sustainable level as well as Oklahoma City has, and that is Detroit basketball. The Pistons have been really good. They play a style that is very much akin to what that city historically is and has been. Very blue collar, very nitty gritty, very put my hands on you, be physical, sometimes to your detriment because they're a team that leads in terms of opponent free throw rate. And they're living with it. They're okay. They understand that that's something that comes with the identity that they look to establish on every single game. And that goes for whether Jalen Duren's available or not, Cade Cunningham's available or not, Isaiah Stewart's available or not. JB Bickerstaff has the pulse of his team. They're all bought in, no different than the Suns have been bought in with or without Devin Booker or Dillon Brooks or Jalen Green under Drew or not. And this is the East Coast version of themselves at this point. I think it's a fun matchup on the way tonight.
You're definitely a fun matchup thinking about how far they've come in 2 years. This is the team we were laughing at. Man. About to lose 26, 27 games in a row. Fans couldn't get any wing stop, and here they are, best record in the Eastern Conference. Looks like they're going to cruise to the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, and I like that you mentioned they're an embodiment of Detroit. It's like, think about get your Carhartt on, get ready to go work, but also you got a star, Cade Cunningham. That's like your Cartier buffs right there too. So you mix it up, you got a guy who can get a lot done. He's been playing at an All-NBA first-team level this season, really taking another leap into the stratosphere of what we expected him to be when he was drafted first overall some years ago. So this Pistons team is impressive in a lot of ways, so that makes it a very, very tough test for a Suns team who is without some key guys.
Yeah, I mean, being without Devin Booker is tough. I feel robbed of the Devin Booker versus Cade Cunningham star versus star battle. Of course, also Devin Booker, hometown ties near Detroit, always big for him. I believe he missed the last game in Detroit as well. Don't quote me on that.
That was Nick Richards' second game. Because his debut against the Pistons?
His debut might have been against the Pistons.
And then the second game, I think, was against the Cavs.
Remember when Nick Richards was
really
good,
man. He was really good.
It was the post-Yusuf Nurkic bump was wild.
And I cautioned that it was just that the bar was so low. No discrediting of Nick, but here we are now with a whole lot more to be desired to the extent of him not being in the
expectations.
rotation.
I'll tell you what happens. When expectations happen, it just messes everything up.
I just want to give a big shout out to Mason Plumlee. That way we've mentioned every single center that was on the Suns roster last year in the first 5 minutes of the PHNX Suns pregame show. Drew Eubanks, Yusuf Nurkic, Nick Richards, and now Mason Plumlee. So now that we got that out of the way, let's look at the rest of the injury report. Devin Booker, not the only player missing for the Suns tonight. Jalen Green still out. We'll be monitoring to see if Jordan Knott says anything about him pre-game, but next game against the Knicks feels like probably what we all would have deemed as the earliest that he could come back in this road trip, but he wasn't even designated as questionable, so something to watch. Jamari Bouye still out in concussion protocol. I know how long that takes, man. Rest up. Nigel Hayes-Davis is in. Royce O'Neal is in. Royce probable with a left bicep contusion. Nigel Hayes-Davis out, or was questionable. Now he's in. Big game for Royce O'Neal to be available for, considering the fact that he is going to need to help keep this offense afloat in the way that he has been doing really well the last couple of games, but now without Devin Booker.
I think back to that Lakers game when Book exited early and Royce really stepped up and took on playmaking roles. Was that the game he finished with 11 assists? I think it was. 11 assists in that game. So am I expecting him to have 11 assists again tonight? No,
yes.
But yeah, but I wouldn't be 12 this time. Bar is hot. Expectations.
Yep.
But that's somebody you look towards. He's been rebounding the ball pretty well, and this is going to come up again later. You guys will see why. But he's been rebounding the ball well, so if he can be that playmaker and kind of, I guess, soften some of that blow, everybody's going to have to do it by committee. You don't just replace a player like Devin Booker with one guy, but if multiple people can step up and do a little bit of the things that he does, then that's how you hang around and have a chance.
Yeah, I don't want to give a little bit too quick of a heads up on the keys, but it's by committee for sure. You don't just replace not just not having Devin, but also not having Jalen with one or two people stepping up and roll. And even Jamari Bouye to that extent, considering the impact that he's had. So it's very much a all hands on deck approach. And they're going to need probably two guys to step up and have a game that's significantly higher than what their season averages in one specific category suggests. So, like you mentioned, maybe Royce has a 12 or 11 assist game. Maybe Grayson knocks down 6 or 7 or 8 threes in this game. Maybe Colin Gillespie gets like 20 and 12. They're going to need something like that by committee, though.
Starting lineup for tonight: Colin Gillespie, Grayson Allen, Dillon Brooks, Royce O'Neal, Mark Williams. So Grayson Allen stepping in for Devin Booker. I don't think that's surprising to anybody. Real quick, before we move on from the injury side of things, Coach Ott pregame about Devin Booker being out with a left ankle sprain. This, of course, courtesy of Dwayne Rankin, who travels with the team for every game. Says, quote, "The swelling is there. Think he's been through this before. He's able to return as quick as possible. If he could go, he could, especially being here in Michigan. We're going to try to get it the next game." So, of course, the next game is Suns at Knicks. Jordan Ott also said Jalen Green, who continues to be out with the right hamstring strain, got in another 5-on-5 after Thursday morning shoot-around, so that is a good sign. Quote, "Just the next step on this progression. Again, we'll take it and see what happens tomorrow, just how he bounces back from it. What's normal soreness because he hasn't played a ton in the last couple of months. Everything seemed to go well. Hopefully we'll take that next step." Follow-up question, is that next step Saturday at the Knicks? Quote, "We'll continue to assess. As soon as he's good to go and we feel good, we're not going to make an immediate reactionary response to where he's at. He's made such great progress and we've stuck to the plan all along, so we'll continue to do that." So just some updates on those two as they're both out against Detroit tonight.
He might be a rookie head coach, but he is a seasoned veteran in answering these questions about we'll see. It's the next step.
Freckled Mom in the chat says W word sound.
That script they gave him to read, Jordan don't play with that thing, man.
Yeah.
We've heard these answers before.
Yep.
He's not trying to be repetitive with the response, but he's only allowed to say so much per the medical staff. So he gets prepped on what he can say, what he can't say. He sticks to it to a T. That's why y'all were annoyed with what he was feeding us about the Grayson thing, because that was literally the extent of what he could actually say. So if he's saying that about Jalen, I imagine, like he said, progress has been made. He might be getting closer to getting the 2 thumbs up to go. But they're not going to preemptively speak on that until he's 100% ready.
Well, I do like the fact that he was playing 5-on-5. Because we did hear about a week ago that he was getting in some actual work, but it was just with coaches and then players 3-on-3, now 5-on-5. That really is that final step.
But I wonder if that 5-on-5 was still with coaches, though. Dwayne didn't get a chance to follow up.
Yeah, that's fair.
3-on-3, the 3-on-3 that he was at last time he was asked about it was specific with coaches. was able to see a little bit of that at practice. The last time they practiced, which feels like it was a month ago at this point, that 5-on-5 might have very well been considering it was shoot around with coaches. So it's a step in the right direction for sure. You can get hit a little bit more. You have a little less space to work with, more game realistic scenarios. But if that's only against coaches, that's only going to be able to glean so much from. So
guess,
take it
does
with a
he
grain
play
of
on
salt.
Saturday?
Because the next game is Monday in Brooklyn. I'm probably saying Brooklyn.
I don't think he plays Saturday. The reason, thinking about what you were saying, you see him playing with a get-right group pregame, playing with some other guys who are towards the end of the bench, and kind of have the ability to do that right now since this team is so hurt.
Exactly.
Everybody's in the rotation. But if I can see him, doing something like that, then I think that would be the last step.
My heart says Saturday.
Of course it does.
My brain says Monday. My gut says we're not going to see him until the end of this road trip against Atlanta.
I mean, like I said from the jump, if it takes that long, so be it.
It is what it is.
Not ideal, but the long-term picture is you got a 23-and-a-half-year-old. You want to be fully healthy after re-aggravating the injury that he sustained earlier in the season before the season started. That's what it takes, so be it.
Hello says it's Eric, so all the answers are wrong. Thanks, Hello. We do appreciate you. Hello also reminds me of the best take I've ever had in the history of the show is when the Suns traded for Nick Richards, and I was like, maybe they could get up to the 4th seed. Levi says, do you guys watch the entire game live? Sometimes we do, not tonight, but Saturday we will be doing a live watch along for Knicks Suns, maybe Jalen Green's debut. Good news from Ott. Hopefully Devin Booker does play in MSG. We know how much he loves playing there.
Also, update on Jamari Bouye. He's been doing things on the court. I don't know if he's been doing like 5-on-5 like Jalen or 3-on-3 or in any capacity, but he was on the court last time I was able to see them practice. Just kind of doing shooting drills and stuff like that.
Tonight's probably the game since he's been out that you're going to miss him the most without Devin Booker, even though it's been good that Grayson's been getting in his groove. The Detroit defense is really, really great. We'll get to your stats in a second, Steven. First, Will celebrates 1 month of membership. Thanks, Will. Remember, if you are a member, if you are an MVP, you get a prepaid super chat for every month that you are a member. Plus, you get access to exclusive content like additional film breakdowns from Steven and exclusive emojis to use in chat as well. Will
still got more cooking on that front, too. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Collars might be a certain color. Stay tuned.
Will, with a 1 month chat, says, we are winning tonight. Rocking with the Suns forever, no matter what. You're damn right, Will. You're damn right.
Love that attitude. To your point real quick, when you mentioned Jamari being out again and feeling his absence, I was thinking about this after the game. I was kind of decompressing after the Heat lost, and I was thinking to myself, having his presence just in that rotation might have kept things from getting as ugly as they did in the first half. Just having a different guy to throw out there and stop the bleeding a little bit. And I think that's where you miss him in margins like that, especially the closer you get to full strength. And you're thinking, oh, well, this guy's on a 2-way contract. Maybe he's going to follow the rotation. But we've seen enough from him now to know that he makes timely stops and he just kind of steps in those moments. And as far as stepping up, who from the rotation is going to step up like that on a game like tonight? Because like you mentioned, it's going to be across the board by committee, and you have to replace those type of contributions as well. We've seen Goody step up, but can you see one of the younger guys? Can Ryan Dunn have some good moments? Can Rasheer get trusted and thrust in there to make some things happen? It's going to be a tough test for them with the physicality of a veteran team as well. So I have my eye on that.
Well, Steven, this defense isn't just physical. They're damn good, and the numbers prove it.
It's very, very bad boy Pistons, Detroit-esque in the modern sense. Second best defensive rating overall in non-garbage time minutes, 109.6. Number one by almost a full point in the half court defensively at 90.7 in terms of their rating. Number one in defensive effective field goal percentage without garbage time, or that extrapolates garbage time. To that same vein, they're number two in turnover percentage forced to their opponents. Obviously, number one is the Suns. They're about 0.6 of a point behind the Suns, so not too far off from them, but in that same ballpark. 20.7 deflections per game is second to only Oklahoma City, and they have by far the best pick and roll defense. Not because they're super scheme versatile, but they're very sharp. You try to turn a corner, you're gonna have someone on your hip, and you're going to see someone in the gap, and you got to worry about Isaiah Stewart or Jalen Duren or Paul Reed or any one of the other bigs that they throw in the mix there. They're a Popeye's biscuit without water or honey. That's what it's like to try to go up against them. Very, very tough. Very tough.
I had a thought, and then now I'm thinking about how torturous that is to have to deal with a Popeye biscuit with nothing to drink, and that would want no parts of playing against this Pistons defense. But when you first shared these numbers with us, what came to my mind was what we talked about last game, right? Controlling the controllables, having your defensive identity and your principles and sticking to that and always controlling it. That's what that looks like.
Yep.
That's what that looks like. This Pistons team, regardless of if Duncan Robinson is hitting shots and Cade is getting into the lane like he wants to, they're going to guard and they're going to make life difficult for you. And they do it night after night after night. The culture has changed. JB Bickerstaff has changed the culture basically overnight as far as that goes with them. And the result is them being atop the Eastern Conference and being a team that nobody really wants to play on a night-to-night basis.
Well, we talk about the chemistry with defense. We said that specifically on Monday's show when we dove deep into the Suns having one of the best defenses in the NBA specifically since Christmas. I think the difference, the best. I think the difference, at least from a roster construction standpoint, is both of these teams have great defensive chemistry. The Pistons have, on paper, physically better defensive tools, lengthy wings, guards that are a little bit longer, a little bit more athletic, that are able to use that chemistry a little bit more to their advantage. There's a chance that we see a real grinded out game, which honestly could help the Suns considering they're without their two best offensive players.
It could, but the Pistons are a team, if you want to make a game muddy, they're more than comfortable playing in the mud. In fact, they would rather that than play the pretty 125, 130 point game because that's much more akin to what their identity is. I'm genuinely looking forward to this. Is one of the games I had circled in the schedule because I knew what they had potentially, what the Suns would potentially be able to do as well. And it feels like they're both arguably outside of maybe one or two other teams in their respective conferences. They've probably played to their true identity more frequently than any other team. For the Pistons, they've definitely played to their identity more than any other team in the East. For the Suns, you could throw Oklahoma City out there, obviously, but outside of them, maybe Houston, when they had their double bigs rolling and they were doing the historic offensive rebound rate thing. That's kind of simmered down of late, but the Suns' defense has persisted pretty much since that first week of the season.
Well, the Pistons are healthy tonight, too. Yeah. Cade Cunningham is back.
Definitely.
And that's the thing.
Jalen
Duren is back. Yeah. Starting lineup for them is obviously those two guys. Those are two all-stars, probably two all-NBA guys
so good.
At this point. Jalen Duren, the cover of Slam magazine, to some people's happiness. Duncan Robinson starting for them tonight. The Suns are going to have to be crisp defensively. Tobias Harris, who's just a very solid, crafty veteran at this point. And then Asar Thompson. We've seen the Suns struggle with Amen Thompson at certain points. Asar Thompson is also clearly in that same boat.
Arguably better defensively than his brother.
Playing at all defensive level for sure.
Listen.
Yeah.
The question is first team or second team with him. Not it's just first team or second team.
Yeah.
Right, seriously.
and when you look at the half court matchup, kind of like how I said, how maybe it could help the Suns, I do think that having a star like Cade Cunningham, who's been so elite this season, I believe that he belongs at the MVP table. I don't think he'll win it, but I do think he deserves votes. Yeah. I think he's first team all NBA this season in a year where guards have still been playing well. When the game slows down and gets into half court, sometimes it comes down to who can create a bucket. Cade Cunningham is the guy who can not only do it for himself, but for everybody else on the court, the best than anybody else suiting up tonight.
Yeah, we can go ahead and look at this graphic, Ayrton. So Cunningham and Cade this season, nice little wordplay there. 26.7 points per game, 13th in the league. Those modern splits from 52% from 2, 34% from 3, 83.8% from the line. Very, very healthy for a player that's on ball as often as he is and receives the coverages, the aggressive coverages he sees. To that point, also, 4 turnovers, 9.7 assists per game. Number 2 in the league right now with that in particular. His teammates are shooting the leather off the ball when it's coming from a pass directly from him. 20 double-doubles, 4th in the league. Detroit, like I mentioned earlier, 56.8% effective field goal percentage from his passes. And then he's also at 17.8 points created via drives per game, whether for himself or via kickout passes to others. That's 4th in the league. He's also number 1 by far in terms of total pick and rolls ran. Cade is like the star ascension started last season. You saw it in the playoffs. he is very much here now. The 3-ball is still something he's working through, but that 34.8% that he's shooting right now is fairly good. I think he might be, and if y'all have another name, let me know, but he might be the most blue-collar superstar in the league right now.
Ooh.
Because he guards 1 through 4. We saw him do it against the Knicks in the first round and gave them hell. He's just a dude, and I think the team's identity, different than how Devin is wearing his qualities, but even with the times maybe 5 or 10 multipliers, why Detroit is playing the way that they are right now.
We qualify superstars as top 10 players in the NBA, right?
I would say I would go top. Yeah, we can do top 10. I was gonna say I'll open it up to top 15. But
Are we sleeping on Michael Porter Jr.?
All right.
Giannis,
there's a different color for that, but
Giannis,
yeah, Giannis when he really wants to play defense, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean,
he would be number 1 for sure.
If you consider Jalen Brunson a top 10 player, just the way that he has to get his buckets, I don't think it's as effective in the blue collarness.
It's not. It's the defense for me. With
Cade,
guard 1 through 4 and do all of it that he does on offense.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
Thinking about that,
I don't think there's another one.
I was thinking about that Cade Cunningham archetype, like just the big guard, the 6'8", man, the passing ability, the way he's leveraging his size, and how it's all starting to make sense for him. I think it's easy for, one, people lose patience with young players, especially those taken first overall. But he missed basically the entire season with an injury, so that set him back a little bit. But as we saw in the playoffs, this is a player who is crafted for playoff basketball. Like when you think about playoff basketball and thriving, having a guy like that as the head of the snake is super scary. And now we're starting to see it on a game-to-game level with this Pistons team, which we'll see a lot of tonight. How are the Suns going to deal with all the problems that he poses? We've seen the Suns make life difficult for star players, but I think his blue-collarness might come back and make it a little more difficult. Not even the fact that the Suns aren't at full strength, because we know next man up, they'll still try to drag things down, but can they drag it down enough? Can they make Cade uncomfortable enough? Because it is his first game back in the lineup after a few games off, so I'm very curious to see that. I expect him to be fresh, but there's always a chance that he's got to get his timing back.
Crusader X6 with a $5 super chat. Thanks, Crusader. Says, I'm a few rows up from the Suns bench tonight. Watch Royce do a lot of warm-up and shoot around. I think he's going to have a big game tonight. The Suns do need to muck it up.
that game, man.
Yeah, have fun. That's a
lots of Little Caesars.
Little Caesars Arena, man. We just get you a mic so we can come.
Can we get you credentialed? Do you think they'll let you in? Just say, hey, I'm with PHNX. Just tell them.
Ask follow about Jalen.
For real, though, enjoy the game, man. Little Caesars Arena is beautiful. I think they have a great basketball atmosphere, basketball culture in Detroit. Had the privilege of going up there a few times for a Suns games to cover. That arena is dope. They weren't nearly as good as they are now. Last time I went there was 2 seasons ago. They've significantly taken a leap.
Some would say the opposite.
The exact opposite. Yes, correct. So, enjoy that game, man, for real.
Yeah, that's great.
And say hi to Matt Ishby. I'm sure he'll be in the building, too.
I'm sure he will. Any things that you want to share in the post-game chat, we'll make sure to read them. He also adds another $5 super chat. Thanks, Crusader. Says, if the Suns lose, I'm leaving my cardboard cutout of Espo in the stands.
How'd you get that, first of all?
I'm about to say, yeah. How much did that run you? You got to be put on a list if you're getting a cardboard cut out of Espo. But no, enjoy that game. And look, the Suns, they are going to need to muck it up defensively tonight. Do maybe in part of like what they did to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to get him a little bit off rhythm, attack him defensively. As much as Cade is a good defensive player, he is somebody that you're going to attack more than an Asar Thompson. Not as much as a Duncan Robinson and as a Tobias Harris, but still somebody who you're going to try to tire out. Do you think they maybe take more of the Luka role where they kind of sell out on everybody else and take out the pass? Because I do think that if Duncan Robinson isn't hitting threes, Tobias Harris has also been dealing with some injuries lately. Jalen Duren is not a three-point shooter. Obviously, Asar Thompson, like his brother, not a three-point shooter. I wonder if that is what they're going to be gambling on. Their best play is sell out to stop everybody else from scoring and kind of let Cade get his as he works back in from injury.
Well, I think that's where it's a little different because with Luka compared to Cade, not going under any screens with Luka because prolific pull-up three going either direction, the step back is there. With Cade, team-wise, doesn't have the sniper compilation that the Lakers have, especially in their primary lineups. So you can't get away with doing some of the things we will do against Cade that you will likely have done against Lucas. So a little different, but attention-wise, yes, all eyes on Cade, no different than it is with Luka, even when he's on the court with LeBron and Austin Reeves. Yeah.
I am also looking at Mark Williams tonight because Jalen Duren is somebody who is very, very, very physical. Steven, let's get to your keys to the game, man. We've been talking ball. I didn't realize it's already 5 minutes before tip. We got to get going here.
Yeah, balance the physicality and activity without fouling because they will foul you. Obviously, the Suns have been prone to fouls. You don't want to be out fouling a team that fouls or sends their opponents to the free throw line more than anybody else in the league. That's an outlet for you to get to the free throw line, which leads to key number 2. Get to the stripe, earn your stripes by playing to your principles, get to the line, but you also want to make sure you box out. The Suns have some inexcusable moments with rebounding against the Miami Heat. That cannot happen against this Detroit Pistons team that can out blue collar any other team in the league on any given night. The last one, we talked about it with Devin and Jalen not being available and Bouye. Guard production is going to be very important, not just offensively, but defensively. Guys can't get hunted out. They got to stay sharp, stay in front of the ball, and allow for their defensive base to get established.
Yeah, heavy on the box out. Do not get outworked in the game. You're already short on talent. Yeah. You know, 2 guys who would help you in a situation like this aren't available, so you cannot afford to get outworked by a team that makes its living off of outworking you.
I would throw in don't start slow like you did against Miami. Yeah. 20-point lead against Detroit.
Yeah, can't happen.
You're not getting anywhere with that. You're not getting anywhere with that. Let's look at the Suns must-win meter real quickly here, averaging out to a 6 points. Wow. Steven with a 3, Gil with a 7.5, Ayrton with a 6.5. I'm at an 8.6. S was at an 8. Relatively low, obviously, without Devin Booker.
That's why it dropped off for me because it was at like a 7.5.
And then no book.
And then when no book, I was like, yeah, let me go ahead and drop that down.
Well, speaking of low, let's get to my results for the pregame picks, presented by, of course, our friends over at Bet365. Sign up, use code PHNX365, deposit 10, place a bet for 5. I'm glad you liked that one. To get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses, bonus bets can be used on spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You must be 21 plus and physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, text NEXT-STEP to 52342 or visit problemgambling.az.gov. Had to turn the speed up on that one because we are running late. Yeah, I'm in last. Who cares? Let's keep it going. And here's how I'm getting my money back tonight. The positive, here I come. I'm taking Cade Cunningham over 41.5 PRA. Give me Grayson Allen over 2.5 3-pointers made. Assumed he was going to be in the starting lineup. If Devin Booker was out, and even if Devin Booker could play, I was assuming he was going to get more minutes. Oso Ighodaro over 6.5 assists and rebounds. Heavy on the blue collar for Oso tonight. Rebounding, passing the ball, being a hub again without Devin Booker out there. Give me Asar Thompson over half a block. He's done that in the last 3 games that he's played. I liked the odds on that. And then Jalen Duren double-double. I think Mark will hold his own tonight, but I do think Jalen Duren is going to have some good minutes against the Suns tonight. He's going to walk away with at least 10 and 10. Give me a plus 1,500 plus a 30% profit boost. Get me back into the positive. Here's what Espo's putting his money on tonight. Simply just Phoenix Suns money line, a plus 220. This team likes to shock people. Not the worst bet in the world. Gil, what are you betting on?
Duncan Robinson over 2.5 first quarter points. That feels gross.
You love the first quarter
That feels gross, but you know what? He's done it in each of the last 5 games.
So 1 3-pointer.
He literally just has to make 1 3. He had 10 first quarter last game. Royce O'Neal, there's what I was talking about. Will come up later. Over 7.5 assists and rebounds if he's the distributor without Devin Booker. I can see him hitting that. Dillon Brooks, over 16.5 points. He's got to score. And Cade Cunningham, 25-plus points, kind of aligned with what you had there with him. I think he's a star. He's done it, I think, last 5 times he's on the court.
Freckled Mamba.
Ooh.
Got a little 3-leg parlay today. Dillon Brooks plus 25 points. Dillon Brooks over 0.5 stocks. And Oso Ighodaro over 6.5 assists and rebound. 440 with a 30% profit boost. I feel like that's pretty slight.
Yeah, I like that. Dillon Brooks is probably taking 35 shots tonight. So, especially coming off of that Miami game, yeah. Let's just not get a tech, or I guess you can get a flagrant.
Should have just straight had a shot attempts. It was 20.5 over under for shot attempts, Dillon Brooks.
I got 3 things. 1, hi, Melissa. 2, hello. Mike McDonald, offensive coordinator. I'm all for it. Head coach, I'm not for it. Number 3, I think this is a big Oso Ighodaro game. I think for as stingy and as heavy in denials and whatnot that the Pistons are, having a big, they can do those kind of hub connective things, backdoor passes, the handoffs, all of that fun stuff. I think this is a game tailor-made for him to have impact.
Love to see how he
Hashtag the
reacts to
connector.
love to see how he reacts to the physicality too.
Sure.
He's been playing really confident. If there's any team that's going to try to knock the confidence out of him, it will be Detroit. We talked about.
He said he's not.
We talked about what we want to happen for Suns must win. Let's get into what we think will happen with our score predictions tonight. I am going to be honest with you. I have no idea what you said.
He's not.
Keep going.
We're all taking the Pistons. Yeah. I still don't know what you said.
Yep.
Sorry.
Hopefully we're wrong. Let's say that. Hopefully we're wrong.
I said it twice, so you knew I meant it.
This is what the line is tonight. Are you? Is this a comment towards me?
No.
Okay, cool. Bet.
Why would it be towards you?
I don't know, man. We've been beefing lately.
It's towards one of your favorite
Suns.
players, though.
Oh, about Kyler? Just kidding.
Oh my God, this man is crazy.
I don't know. You were talking football. That was the line, and that was the PHNX Suns pregame show. I got some questions for you after this. Tune in for the PHNX Suns postgame show. Hopefully, we're talking about a scrappy victory against the #1 seed in the East. If not, fear not. We will be maybe talking some trade rumors in postgame if this game gets ugly. Always a reason to tune in with the PHNX Suns postgame show. Follow us on social at PHNX_Suns on Twitter and on Instagram for live in-game reactions, reports, updates, everything of the sort. It's your one-stop shop for Suns fandom. Of course, you can follow the Freckled Mamba, who's going to have to tell me what Steven said. If Steven refuses to tell me what he said, you can follow him
twice.
at Freckled Mamba. I still don't. Sorry. You can follow Steven at StevenPG3. You can follow Gil at Gil McGregor _. You can follow me at ERIKRUBY. And I'm not following anything of what's going on right now.
We all silly like the mayor.